Okay. One of the keys to doing proofs is to make some flashcards and actually understand what the givens mean. So this is just going to be pieces of proofs so that you know if you see this statement, what you can use in your proof table. So if it says BD bisects angle ADC, the first thing you do is you find angle ADC and you make an angle loop through it. Sorry. There we go. The vertex is the middle letter, so I knew that that was the angle they were talking about. If it's been bisected, then I know this half equals this half. So my statement, this would be in the middle of a proof. It would not be, in fact, I'm not even going to put it in a table. My statement would be angle ADB, 3 letters, the vertex has to be the middle letter, is congruent to angle CDB. And the reason I knew that would be definition of bisect. Versus, look at the next one in green. If it says BD bisects segment AC, the first thing I do is find segment AC, and then bisect means cuts it in half. So this half is the same as this half. So this one's different. You would say segment AB is congruent to segment CB. But the reason is definition of bisect. Notice I'm using bisect, not midpoint, because nowhere did it say the word midpoint. You only get to use bisect if it says bisect. The third one in red, that symbol is the perpendicular symbol. What it means is that wherever BD crosses AC, which is here, it touches at 90 degrees and 90 degrees. 90 degrees is talking about an angle. The middle letter is the vertex, so angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. And the reason I know that is definition of perpendicular. On the next page I have some more. Make sure you pause this video and rewind as necessary. The next one, B is the midpoint of AC. Midpoint of AC means it's right in the middle, which means this half equals this half. So side AB is congruent to side BC because of definition of midpoint. The other ones that you can use anytime the picture is drawn this way, this picture, segment BD is congruent to BD. It's congruent to itself because of the word reflexive. The picture below it, this angle is congruent to this angle. 3 letters, middle letter has to be the vertex. Angle AEB is congruent to angle DEC. And that's called vertical angles. Okay, now we're ready to start an actual proof. Copy down this question, and then we are going to use a statement reason proof. Statement reason charts are just so much more organized and so much more useful in the future. So statements on one side, reasons on the other. The first thing you do is copy down word for word whatever my given is. The given is the if statement, so copy that down as statement number 1. Word for word, the whole given is copied down as the statement, and the reason is given. Now we want to look at what the given is. It says C is the midpoint of AB. So here's AB. If it's the midpoint, then I know this half equals this half. So statement 2, segment AC is congruent to segment BC because of the word was midpoint. This one happens to use midpoint twice. So now I can do, also the midpoint of DE. Here's DE. The fact that it's the midpoint means this half equals this half. So number 3, only because it says and, I get to do it again. DC is congruent to EC. Midpoint again. Now I've used everything in the given. I need to look closely at the picture. This picture is like an X, vertical angles cross, where the lines cross, sorry. So 3 letters, angle, middle letter has to be the vertex. DCA is congruent to angle ECB. The reason we knew that was vertical angles. So now I have 3 congruent symbols in my proof. Now I can say that the triangles are congruent. 3 letters, I'm just going to use number 4 to help me do it. Triangle DCA is congruent to triangle ECB. And then this is always either side, 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 or angle, side, angle, whichever property makes sense. Ours is side, angle, side. Now that you've done all 3 congruent symbols, and you've said the triangles are similar, so this has to be your second to last step. Your last step is whatever they wanted us to prove. Don't forget, it's up there in the question. AD is congruent to BE. And the reason I want you to write it down, the reason that makes sense, is that if I have congruent triangles, that means I have congruent parts. And now you're done with this example. Copy down this one, set up a statement reason chart, and see how far you can get. So I went ahead and I wrote down the whole given, step number 1, given. Now I go through one part at a time. BD is perpendicular to AC. Remember, perpendicular talks about angles. I know this angle's 90 and this angle's 90. So number 2, angle ADB is congruent to angle CDB. The reason I knew that was perpendicular. The next part of the proof, the next thing that they gave me was that BD bisects angle ABC. Find angle ABC and bisect it. 3 letters for an angle, the middle one has to be the vertex. Angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. The reason they gave me in the given is bisect, definition of bisect. That's all the givens. Now I just have to look at the problem itself. Because notice I only have 2 congruent symbols right now. 1, 2, so I'm not ready to finish yet. I have to find my own based on the picture itself. This picture has a shared side, so I get to say BD is congruent to BD. That's reflexive. Now I have all 3 congruent symbols. Now I can say the triangles are congruent. Triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. Looking at the angles and sides, this is an angle side angle problem. Now I can say what they wanted me to prove. AB is congruent to BC. And it's because congruent triangles means congruent parts. There's always worksheets that you can use to practice posted on Schoology.